Hey guys, I just wanted to come at you with a new project. I had a lot of people ask me to show how I did my um, nighttime ocean scene, and unfortunately, I didn't video it, so it was on a black table and it turned out so pretty. I'll try to show it to you at the end of the video, because I have just resined it and I've got it covered off to the side here. This is going to be maybe like a breakfast tray. When I get done with it, I'll drill holes in the side of it and put handles on it. But we will go ahead and try to walk through how I did my ocean scene. I'm going to be using resin eventually, but at this particular moment I'm just going to do the base colors with both acrylic paints and alcohol inks from Ranger and Jacquard. So I'm just going to start painting, and hopefully we can figure this out together. I will be also using sand of sorts, and I've got some little shells in this little bottle here that I'm going to lay in the beach scene area. You have to think about what the ocean looks like at night. The colors are much darker, and the foam on the waves aren't exactly white. So we will walk through all of that. I'm going to use right now, with the acrylic and the alcohol part, I'm going to be using just regular paint brushes to just swipe in some colors. And I found these things. Somebody had shared, I can't remember, I think her name's Kimberly, but she does centers to flowers, and these little micro paint sticks are pretty cool. They have just like, kind of like the end of a Q-tip, only teeny tiny. I don't know if you can see that, if I've got that in your view or not, but anyways, they work really well for the stars and just maneuvering the white within the resin. So I've got me a little palette here. This is Ranger's blue, and this is Apple Barrel's. I think, let's see what it is. It is Admiral blue. So that's the color that I'm going to be using. I'm going to put a little bit of white in here, and also Apple Barrel's black. So I have no idea how long this video will be. I will apologize right now if it takes me forever to show you how I did this. But anyways, I'm looking for the Pinata's white. I'm going to stick it inside the acrylic white. And I'm also going to add a little bit of alcohol to my alcohol inks here. This is a mixture of the Rangers, the blue and the purple. I wish I could tell you what colors they are. I had somebody tell me and I done forgot. That's terrible. But anyways, these are the two colors, if you can see them, that are in the alcohol. I will also be using gold, this gold here, for the sand area, mixed with the Ranger's brown. So I'm just gonna start with my moon. I'm gonna mix the alcohol ink in there. And I really stink at doing perfect circles, so just do the best you can. I'm gonna stick it in the alcohol ink, and I'm just gonna add the shadows. Knock that off of there. Quick, because I want a different brush to get my cloud formation in. There. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna cover it up with resin and different colors as well. In your resin, you're gonna add alcohol inks to show transparency. Got alcohol on there. But just make your cloud formation however you want. It's great to add all of the colors in. And you also have to remember when you're doing clouds, depending on what kind they are, they usually have a flat bottom. So I'm going to, from my other, where I just covered up the table, I had just a teeny bit of the casting craft white mixed in the resin left over, so I'm just going to tap that in on my moon. And I'm going to use the micro brush. It's already been used. I don't know if you're supposed to throw them away or not. It says they're disposable, but so inside your resin, the casting craft, I like it a lot. I'm just going to blot out where the light from the moon might be hitting the top of the clouds. You'll do it again inside the resin, so don't be terribly worried. Just across there a bit, and then we'll take the Admiral Blue, and we're going to make a horizon line. Then you're just going to take the Admiral Blue, mix with the black, and make horizontal stripes. I'm going into the alcohol ink also, so all of my colors will blend. And just making horizontal lines. Make sure you get your horizon line nice and straight. Just going to add a little bit of blue and black over here. Make it a little bit different than the other one. To add a cloud there. Get the moon to light off of it. In. I'm going to turn my brush, instead of flat like I was just doing, I'm going to turn it to its edge inside the white, and just make the base coat for all of your wave lines. Doesn't matter how It depends on solely how you want your wave formation to be. Again, you're going to go back over it with resin, and the whites will be covered with casting craft. So you want your dark blues under where your foam is going to be. I'm going to cast out here just a little bit. This is all just base coat, so there are no worries about what it looks like underneath. You just want the different colors to shine through in your transparent alcohol inks and resin. So I'm going to take some straight up Pinata white. I'm just going to drop it just to show depth between the two colors, between the two whites. My dogs are barking at something. Sorry, I apologize. Hold your brush sideways so it makes a thin line instead of a fat line. Okay, so there's that. It all looks like a mess to start with, doesn't it? Alright, so I'm going to take the gold. I don't even wash out my paintbrush either when I'm doing acrylics or whatever. I'll wash it out at the end. My dogs are having a cow. Zeke! I'm going to add a little bit of the white. It's harder to do trays because it's hard not to get it on the sides of it. It's not going to hurt it, but just harder to do it. Something there I don't like. It's not going to show, but I still don't like it. So wherever you want your beach to appear, you're going to do this color. And you can choose your own color. You don't have to choose the same colors as I've chosen. So I've got that base on, all in straight strokes. I'm going to add the Ranger's brown, just in a few areas. And I done lost it. There it is. Some of the alcohol inks, Pinata Blanca Blanca white. So you're just gonna blend it with your alcohol inks. And the acrylic paint. So I'm leaving the white here because it's going to reflect from the moon. So I'm going to add a little bit more white here. The water's going to come up on it too, so it's not like you're really going to see a ton of all of this. So at this point, I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to let this dry. No reason for you guys to watch paint dry. And I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to spray it with 2 coats of Kmar. And then I will be back with my resins mixed, with all my tints. And we'll start resining. I'm going to put a teeny white line here, I think. So that's how you do the base of it. I go ahead at this point and put my sand where I want it. See, it's going to cover up, so it's just all that color is just base coat. And I'll take it out there and spray it with a Kmar. And I'll be back with the resin portion of this deal. There's that. And I want to put a few of my little shells in here, just in places. I am going to find a nice something or another to put my signature on, so I can just lay it down in this corner over here, and it will say it's done before it's actually done. I will have signed it before it's done, because I like my signature to be actually in the resin. So I'll be back. Okay, while I was away, I went ahead and sprayed it with Kmar, and I also found, hopefully you can see that, I just found a flat seashell, a broken one, like this, and I used that to put my signature on. I used the black Posco pen to do my initials, and then I just laid it in there. I covered it, I sprayed it with Kmar also. The whole thing has been sprayed with Kmar, and I also laid down a little bit of glitter fingernail polish along the top pieces of my sand, so it will show through a little bit here and yonder. I mixed all of my resins, and one important thing about mixing resin, I mixed 20 ounces, by the way, because I'm going to pour this in something else also. This will probably take about 16 to 18 ounces. But it is so important when you mix your resins that you scrape the sides and you go through and you bring the bottom up to the top. When you first pour it in, there's all kinds of funky little lines where the chemical is starting to mix. So you want to mix it until you no longer see those little string lines in your resin, and you want to scrape the sides. I'm going to tell you, if you don't, if you just stir like this, not paying any attention, and you pour in, and at the end you don't think you have enough and you start scraping the sides, you're putting unmixed resin on your project, and it will not dry. It will be very sticky. So if I have one word of advice when messing with resin, is to scrape your sides very well. Okay, that's the end of that lesson. But all right, all these are mixed. I put 5 to 7 drops in each one of my little cups, and I wanted to show you. This one is the Pinata Green, and I don't know why, because it's green in the bottle, but when you put it in the resin, it turns blue on me. I don't know why. It turns like an aqua. If anybody knows why that chemical reaction happens, I'd like to know. But I love the blue that comes out. It's a really tealy type blue. Another thing, the brown in the Rangers, wherever it is, this, I put 5 drops in here, and it's very translucent. So I don't know if everybody knows, but Rangers inks are a little bit more diluted than the Jacquard Pinata inks are. So we'll mix that up. I need to put my lid back on my green. I don't like to mix them up because somehow or another I got a black lid on my Pinata. Don't know where the white lid went. But anyways, I'm a messy artist, so I try to do my best to keep everything okay and somewhat organized. This is just the clear resin with iridescent white glitter in it. I may need more of that, but the first thing you do once you're at this point is everywhere you don't want all of your tinted resin to go, you need to put clear. So I definitely want the clear on my moon, and I want it on my signature because I don't want to cover up my signature. So I'm going to put it there. Get it in the corner really good. And I'm just going to drizzle it across the sand to make sure it stays in place. So you want to do it on the edge of it and then cover it up so it doesn't, so you're not pushing it out into your water. So there's enough of that. All of this will all mix in, so I told you I was messy a little bit, but anyways, so I like the Rangers brown to go on my sand area. So just get all of that good and covered. You want your sand covered. Another thing, I love sand. If you don't like the sand in it, you don't have to put sand. You can do it all with colors. I just happen to really like the sand in it. I like the depth that it provides. So we're all good there. I'm going to start with the blues. I forgot. I have the white areas that you kind of want to cover up so they don't disappear all the way. There's my clear. Go back to my blue. Whoop, that's my black. So I did the Rangers, the dark, it's dark blue. Indigo, I think is what it is. Indigo blue. And everywhere I did the acrylic and alcohol blues, I'm going to put the different colors of blues in the ocean so they will show up the different stages of your waves. Just gonna play around with it. I'm going to drizzle this up on my beach because my waves are going to be crashing there. So I want that to go there also. go to my next color. This one is purple. Just going to go until it fills in the entire bottom. I'm going to put the purple up here because I want it to reflect in the clouds. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. Told you I was a messy artist. Just going to use every bit of that. Get that out of my way. So that one's done. Also, I always put down paper underneath my resin because no matter what, it gets somewhere. Not get it on my glasses here. I'm going to put my glasses on when I use my airbrush because I don't want the resin to blow up in my eyes. Being legally blind, I try to think about those kind of things. I want to make sure I have a good line of color across the horizon. It's also a good idea to make sure your workspace is level. When you're pouring, so everything comes out. If you're working on something instead of a box like I'm working in, you want it all to roll off the edges at the same pace. So you should think about that. I've got a little turtle here that I'm going to try to put a little bit of this in because I didn't have enough before to fill it completely up. So I'm going to finish filling this up with my leftover colors. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter in there to make his bottom side sparkle. And I'll move him out of the way. He looks pretty full to me. I think I want his foot to be totally clear. So add a little bit more blue in there. Set that off to the side, and I'm going to add my black. I'm going to try to get him not to take off on my moon still. So just keep adding your clear there. Get all of my bottom covered up. Okay, add the rest of my blue in there. Just going to stir it around just a bit. And then I'm going to put the rest of the blue down here. Get that on there. I also use, if I get it on my hands, I use hand sanitizer to clean my gloves and a paper towel, and you can continue to use the same gloves for a few moments. I will change them here in just a bit. So I'm going to put the stars in just in kind of lines. I really like the glitter. I'm going to put a little bit in my waves. And a little bit in my beach. Okay. I don't know if I want more up there or not. I'm looking. Just a little bit, maybe. All right, so there's that part. My napkin. I'm going to use my blue here. It kind of slid into my white. Got to torch it, and then I will mix up my casting craft white. Just get all your bubbles out. It's good to torch more than once. More in here. All right. So I've got to get that poured into something because it is heating up pretty rapidly. So I'm going to find a mold really quick. I've got an owl and a rose. So I'm going to mix those really fast. I always do too many things at once, I think. I fill them up halfway, and then add a little bit of color. This is the black, and it kind of, the pitch black kind of turns a little bit of different colors, which is okay. It's not a big deal. Just gonna scrape off all that in there. And all of those colors are done. Got a little bit of glitter I can put in them. To make them shine up. Alright, there's that. This little bottle here, or cup, I'm going to put the casting craft white in. want to mix it up really good. And this is how you will start your waves. Those in there just like that. I'm going to pour the rest of this in these so they'll be full. Some more on my tray here. And I will be done with that. Still have a little bit left, but I feel like I'm taking up all your all's time. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to let that set just for a second. And then I'm going to blow it after I torch it. I have one more mold here I can play with here just a bit. Just playing. Won't have enough to fill it up, but it can always be filled up later. And I'll put the teeny bit of purple in there. And then brown. And some of the casting craft. Just spin it around. It may fill it up. It did okay. All right, so I'm gonna clean my gloves one more time with the hand sanitizer so I can pick up my airbrush, and I'm going to start moving the white. We'll all mix it in.